Hello again. I want to share this with all you would-be programmers. I've been using the kEIL compiler, but it costs $1,000 that I'm not going to spend at the moment. And then I ran out of the 2 kilobyte demo limit. So then I said, well, maybe $250 is better. So I looked at the MikroC compiler, which is excellent. It has a lot of examples and everything. Is very good. But I didn't want to spend $250 right away. So I came to the SDCC running on the MCU8051 IDE. This is what you're seeing now. And the whole problem was in making a transition, each compiler has its own little language variations, however slight, that renders the program from kEIL uncompilable. So I worked the problems out in the MikroC compiler. Then I came to the SDCC on this IDE, and the problem was I couldn't get the XBYTE from the kEIL. The XBYTE to access external data function on the abstract.h header file. So last night after a few days of thinking about this and how ways I could do it, maybe I can put assembly code, because I got the assembly code I can use, embed the assembly code in the C program, and I tossed that around for a bit. Then I came back and, I'd be thinking about this. How can I do this? I'm kind of new to programming at this level. Little bits and little programs, I've been doing for years, but integrating a whole bunch of, program blocks together, I'm just kind of practicing and relatively new at it. So last night playing on the couch, writing to memory, reading memory with little code snips on this IDE. It came to me, and I came out with a program to replace that XBYTE file from kEIL, and I made a little header file called ds12887.h, which is the RTC I'm using. So what we're going to do here it is. Here's the simple little header file I wrote. And it takes care of register A, register B, seconds, minutes, hours, days, month, year. So I put that on a header file. And here's the program. The initialization program is just, initialize register A to 20 to turn on the oscillator, and other things, register B to allow updating. The seconds, set them at 30, initially 45 minutes. So it'd be 9:45, 30 seconds, and then the day would be October 2nd, 2016, and then allow for register B to let the clock count, right? So let's compile it here so you see the thing working. We're going to compile it, and here it runs. It's compiled successfully with no error. We're going to turn on the simulator. So we got the simulator, and then let's shrink this up so we can see what we're looking at, because we have to write those values. We have to write those values into the RTC memory. So this you can you can also look at it as it's to write to a regular 64 kilobyte RAM chip. This is the external data. Now we're looking like inside a external RAM chip of 65 kilobytes, RAM. Well, 65,536. Excuse my short talk for myself. Here's the internal memory on the chip. This is the internal on the chip. This is the external on the chip. For our purposes, we're going to be writing to the RTC, the DS12887. We're going to be writing to those registers to, get it running, to set the times in it. So we have to go external. So that's where we're using next data. these are the values we're going to have. Let's run the simulator and see what we get. You'll see it start running, but one thing is it's naming it in microseconds, but it's actually going to look longer to us because, you know, that is the oh, I pressed the wrong one. Wait a minute. Oh hell! I'm off. I was off. I was off on my. Excuse me. I was off on my thing when I showed you, and I couldn't get to the RO register, which lets me know that it's running. You can see it running here. I think. Sorry, that's not so good. You can see it running there. Where's my cursor? Can't even see the cursor. So it's running, and it's looping. I have it on a loop. The thing we missed is that it wrote it to the external memory, all those bytes. This is now written to the RTC. And let's see if I can stop it and reset it so you can see it. Let me stop the simulator, and I'm just going to fill this up with zeros. I'm just going to fill it up with zeros. So to erase that thing. And now we're going to restart it again. We're going to start the simulator. And then we're going to let it run. And if this is up to 0, x000, you'll see it. You'll see it kick in. There we go, it kicked in. Now watch this. Once it goes through the preliminary, you know, there we go. All the letters in gold we just wrote to the RTC and external RAM. So now the thing is initialized, and it's ready for us to get the time. We have to make another function to read the register. Instead of writing to them, we have to change things around and read them. This is the code memory. Now we're looking at the flash inside the chip, and you see how it's accessing the program code exactly where it would find it on the microcontroller, and it's running. That's what it's running. So it's very interesting. It is this $10 IDE is, you know, I wrestled with it because it has this quirks. You have to make a relationship with this. It has this little quirks, like if you name a source file a little bit weird, it won't, you know, a little bit too long or too short, or underscores or big letters or little letters, it won't compile. You have to get to know this compiler. But once you get to know it, it is the sweetest thing I found so far. You have everything in here. Let me show you the file I am working on translating. And let's say we'll open it with something I use for other software. Like I like PLC, is also free. So this is the program. Now I've shrunk this. When I was with kEIL and I had run over the limit, I said let's eliminate the ADC part because it's pretty extensive to measure the PSI. So I cut it. Right here is the part we begin with. What you just saw, what we just ran, is going to replace this. This is the initialization code part of the program. And you see here, XBYTE makes it so simple. I don't need a header file for this or nothing. kEIL makes it really simple. The more expensive the compiler, the nicer it is. So that was, you know, a piece of cake. Just use that XBYTE thing. No header file, nothing, just that thing in AppSec. So I just decided, why don't I just make it into an alarm clock? And an alarm clock with buttons that I can set the time upwards and backwards, and set the alarm upwards and backwards, and the date, you know, upwards and backwards. So all these functions go into it. So this is the program without the analog to digital converter for the PSI. So you can see it goes on forever. and it was all from scratch. So it's been kind of an enjoyable learning experience, from the little code snips I used to run to putting it all together and you know, seeing it work. It's kind of like an exercise. Kind of, anyhow, you kind of grow into it. It's like going to the gym. You get there with weak little muscles, and after a while of straining, it gets lighter, and that's what it's become. It's become lighter to me. And but anyhow, that's something, some other, you know, that's an analogy that I'm making for it. So this is the whole program that now has to be translated to SDCC, a piece at a time. I don't want to make this video too short. I just hope I was able to be of some help to somebody who likes programming or wants to be a programmer. And don't give up. If you get the free SDCC, you find it at SourceForge.net. Actually, the whole thing is compiling. That whole program I showed you is compiling fine. Let me show you, if I may, while I'm here. And it's Sunday, and I'm let me see. Let's open. It's gonna be like alarmclock.c. So here we have that whole file. Now it will, you know, not compile if it has XBYTE, because it doesn't use it. So I commented all the parts that it wouldn't run. All the rest of it, you know, would run. So let's see if it runs. Let's try and compile it. It has the warning. It's giving me warnings like unreachable code, but compilation successful. I don't know how serious this is. I mean, what it's calling unreachable code is a simple if statement. So I don't know what it's doing at this time. Maybe I have a short model. I have to increase the model from small to medium or to large. I'm going to experiment on that later. Right now I'm just like, you know, ironing out the one thing at a time. When I get to it, I'll figure out what that unreachable code thing is. It did it before because I had a return instruction. So, you know, I listened to it, but I'm kind of like, you know, really, let's see what else works. Anyhow, I'm making this video too long. Enjoy your day. Over and out. Bye.